My name is Luna, and I recently moved a few states away from home to attend a new college. I settled in my new dorm room and met my roommate, Rosie, a girl with glasses who was a nice girl. I think she never had too many friends before because she always over-explained herself. Also, she wanted to make sure that I was comfortable and tried to offer me food or drinks all the time. I tried to make her feel more relaxed, but maybe she would adjust along the way. I thought college would just be about studying, an uneventful 4 years of late-night learning. However, I was wrong. Apparently, I was in the same class as him, Introduction to Psychology. As always, I would sit in the front, while he had more of a habit to sit in the back of the class. I didn't really pay attention to anyone special until this particular moment. The professor, who was in the middle of his introduction speech, suddenly said something in the lines
Of course, I wouldn't expect any of you to know much about Freud's theory of psychosexual development yet. What is that? A question? I never had a student ask me a question during my introduction, but oh well. Yes, the young man in the back.
That's the first time I saw him. A blonde-haired boy with handsome facial features, with an odd sense of fashion. He stood up in the back off the class, and with a serious tone he would say something like,
"Isn't that considered outdated now? Because modern developmental psychology and attachment theory show personality development is more influenced by early caregiver relationships and social-emotional learning than fixed psychosexual stages."
Everybody, including the professor, was silent for a moment.
Well, now I know why I don't take questions in my introduction, the professor said. Please sit down, young man. I'm not saying you're wrong, but there will be plenty of room for learning and discussions later on.
I looked at the boy, who seemed a bit awkward, but he just sat down. People in the class started whispering and smiling to each other. There was something about that boy. I couldn't look away immediately. Until he noticed me, our eyes met for a second, and I felt like a jolt of electricity running through me. I turned back to the front and tried to focus on the professor's words. When the class was over, the students made their way back. The boy was among the students in front of me until he suddenly took a turn. I saw him going through a door that had a staff-only sign. What was that all about? What a mysterious boy. Me and Rosie went to eat lunch, and she talked all about how excited she was about this year. Later, I went to the school's library. Of course, there were a lot of people. It's the beginning of the year. I wanted to get a good head start and not waste any time. I tried to study a bit. I was really getting into it when suddenly I was startled. That boy, from before, he sat in the one empty seat on the table and he seemed to be looking at me. I pretended not to notice, but I felt my heart rate going up. Why though? This wasn't me. I was usually relaxed, not stressed over a boy I don't know. I actually felt like he was looking right at me, but I couldn't look back. Then I heard a voice, that same voice from the classroom. "Hi," he said loudly, towards me. Everybody looked up, first at him, then at me. Some people started to tell him to be quiet, and I gave a sign that I didn't know what was going on. I tried to get my focus back to my book, but that was kind of hard to do now. I noticed he started writing something on a piece of paper, and then he folded it and actually put it in front of me. I was confused for a minute and opened the paper. It said, "Hi," with a smiley face. I couldn't believe this. This was actually kind of cute, but I didn't know this boy at all. I looked at him and he was looking around and then back at me. I made a confused look and wrote on the other side, "Hi? And who are you?" I gave it to him and he opened it and started writing on a new piece of paper. He wrote, "I saw you in class. Can we maybe talk? After you're done studying." I gave a sign with my hands like I don't know, and went back to studying and tried to ignore him. I did not know this boy, but I'm not just any kind of girl. I'm not interested in being anybody's fling. Maybe he does this to all the girls. I'm not that easy. I actually was finished studying, but decided to put in a few more hours to test this boy's resolve. The boy stayed, however. He waited patiently. At some point, I was barely able to stay awake and I wanted to go. But the boy was still there. I got up and made my way outside. I noticed he followed me. This felt a little creepy. I turned to tell him off while suddenly he said, "Black tea." "Sorry," I said, not knowing how to react.
Black tea actually comes from the same plant as green and white tea, he said. The difference is in the processing. Black tea leaves are fully oxidized, which gives them their dark color, stronger flavor, and higher caffeine content compared to green tea.
After that, we were both silent. He was looking awkwardly, and I didn't know what to say. "Tea?" I asked after a while.
"Yes," he said. "I saw you drink it in the library."
"Okay," I said. I couldn't help but smile. "But is there something you want?" He looked awkward for a minute.
I just want to say hi."
He looked so clumsy, like a confused schoolboy. "You waited 3 hours to tell me hi, again, like on the note." He didn't say anything. "Okay. Well, hi. And bye," I said, and I turned around. "Bye," he said, and just stood there. The whole thing was just absurd, but I kept walking away while he just stood there. What is wrong with that boy? He is so awkward. But he is also kind of cute, though. Suddenly I got startled by the security guard's dog, who barked at me loudly. I jumped back, which was a bit embarrassing. Annoying dog. I got to my dorm room, where Rosie was already sleeping, and got ready for bed and fell asleep, exhausted. The next day, as I was walking towards my class, I noticed some security guards talking to each other. What was going on? Are they looking for somebody? As I sat down next to Rosie in the classroom, she said that some boy had handed her a note to give to me. I opened up the paper and there was written, "I don't think that dog will scare you anymore," and a smiley face. Wait, what did he mean by that? Why would he say that? I looked around but did not see him. He was not here. I suddenly got a bad feeling about this.